Hey everyone, just checking if uh, everyone's able to hear me. Welcome back. Um, welcome back. It's my first day back after a 3 week break. Not say break, but I was in the UK, for the past 2 weeks, right? So finally back, leading the pre-market live analysis. All right, hope to see you guys over here, right? Ren, nice to see you. Tuning in nice and early, right? Got a nice request for pound dollar right away. All right, I'll take a look at it. What I'll be doing, of course, is I'll be going through all the charts fresh, right? I think Ketan managed to look through quite a number of the charts previously, but what I'll be doing is I'll be looking at the charts fresh. So it's because I haven't been what I let him lead his own style of analysis for the past couple of weeks. So I'll be looking at the charts fresh across all the majors, all the commodities, indices today, right? So we have a pretty fun time. I just want to check with everyone here that they're able to hear me well, right? I think, let me see, they're able to hear me well, they're able to see me clearly, right? I think I got the settings all set up, so you should be able to watch this, ideally, even in, let me just check, 1080p. 720 or 1080, right? Like almost high definition. Right. So are you guys able to, yeah, just check it out if you guys are able to watch it, all right? Okay. Delores, nice to see you, right? Hey, all right, nice to see you back here. Yamilu, nice to see you back here again. Thanks for tuning in nice and early, all right? Thank you. I'm glad to be back too. Right, glad to be back. It'll be a pretty fun time today. It'll be a pretty fun time today. It's been a while. It's been a while. All right. So, Jay Smith, nice to see you too. All right. Just gonna wait for 1 more minute. All right, 1 more minute for everyone else to stream in again. All right, Christy. All right. Oh, hello from Romania. Nice. Hello from Singapore. All right. I think most of you guys know the last couple of weeks I was in UK. A very nice place. A very, very nice place. And in fact, in the UK, in the in the 2 weeks that I was there, right, it was slightly more sunnier, right? Because I heard usually the weather in the UK is it's just rain and gloomy and clouds all day, right? But the 2 weeks that I was there, it's pretty good, right? There's like sun and stuff. And I also have this thing here, right? It's a London bus. My kid totally loves this London bus we bought from one of the museums. Right, he's totally into like cars and stuff now. It's so nice. But on my second day there, right, started raining 2 days ago. I arrived in Singapore this week on Monday, right? So about 6 days, 6 or 7 days ago, right? And yeah, I heard that the last couple of days has been rain. Right? I'm just glad that I when I was there, it wasn't like all rain and stuff. On my second day there, right, I sprained my ankle, right, both my ankles, right. That's one thing I never really got used to. I think like in the UK, their pavements are made of cobblestones or something like that. It's not like concrete kind of pavements, but it's like cobblestones, right? So it is flat, but there always be that little bit of smaller gaps here and there. And because I used to play a lot of football, soccer, right, and I have a weak ankle, so within my second day there, I like really twisted my ankle. And I was like in Singapore, I avoided an injury for like 2 years, but within 2 days in the UK, I twist my ankle. Right. Hey Sophie, thanks for tuning in. Nice to see you. Right. Carolos, nice to see you too. Um, I'm glad to be back. Nice to see a lot of usual names and usual faces around here. Yeah, and I guess the highlight of my trip was that I went all the way. I made a big detour to Manchester, right, to catch the Manchester United match. And turns out it's the first time in over a year where they lost the match, at home, right? And I had to be there, right? I had to be there with my ticket, just watching the match at home and thinking to myself, what are the odds that they're gonna win, they're gonna lose at home, right? They've never lost at home for a year, right? And when I finally turn up 1 year, it's the first time in a year that they lose, right? It's amazing, right? So I guess part of the experience. Okay. Now, Signal Mark, nice to see you here too. Thanks for tuning in, nice and early. All right. Let's begin today's session. All right, I'm going to start my slideshow over here. Um, First and foremost, right? Unusually warm, is it? Yeah. Just let me get my OBS pulled up on the right side over here. Okay. Here we go. No, sorry, give me a second. You might be in a bit of there we go. Are you guys able to see it nice and clear? I might need to resize this a bit. Are you guys able to see the screen nice and clear? So just let me tweak it a bit so everyone's able to see it nice and clear. Hopefully. Sorry guys, give me a quick second while I ensure that this thing is the correct size. Okay. So give me a quick second as I just tweak let's tweak the settings a bit. I just want to ensure that it's the correct size. The canvas is the correct size. I think I'll present on this side instead because it's the size is just slightly off by a couple of pixels, right? It's just a couple of pixels. So I think I'll present on this side instead. Yeah, I present the charts on this side instead. Okay, guys. All right. So sorry about that. I just bring this here, and I bring this here. Okay. Yeah, I think it'd be slightly easier this way because the slides were a little bit off. Okay, so let's begin. Let's begin today's session. All right, so guys, welcome back to the IC Markets pre-market live analysis with me, Desmond Leong. Right, I'll be your host for today, and this is our weekly pre-market analysis where we look at the markets beforehand, mainly the majors. And if you have requests, right, please send them through nice and early. I'll do my best to get to them. All right, so this if you have requests on any particular process that you're looking at, also let me know. I'll do my best to get to them. All right. But today I'll be covering the majors. I'll be covering gold, oil, right, and the cryptos. We don't have much. I wouldn't say that we don't have much time, but I'll be looking at everything fresh, fresh from scratch. Right. So I'll try to be focusing a little bit more on technicals. I have prepared fundamentals, but if you have any questions on fundamentals you want me to particularly look at, let me know. I'll do my best to get to them. Okay, but I'll be looking more at the majors and on a fresh, clean slate, right? As if I've never looked at it in the last few weeks. Okay, so remember, disclaimer: everything in this webinar is educational in nature. Nothing should be construed as investment or trading advice. So please do your own little due diligence before you guys trade. Okay, all right. Just a heads up on that. Now, moving on. just the agenda for today, right? We'll look at the key news events, right? I'll probably jump into the majors, right? There are a couple of key news events. I prepared them to highlight for you guys. But if you really want to jump into each one, we can do that later, right? And then we look at custom requests, right? If you have any instruments you want me to look at, let me know. For those of you guys who are wondering who's this guy over here, right? Introducing your host for today. My name is Desmond Leong, right? I run I'm an external analyst over here at IC Markets. So I run the award-winning research firm Everest Fortune Group and also the Forex Army, right? We're finalists for 2019, 2020, and 2021 Best FX and Best Equity Research, right? We usually work with many of the major financial institutions out there to help them forecast where the markets are heading. These are banks, brokers, treasury departments, right? And we have a special partnership with IC Markets where we're bringing you guys the good stuff, the juicy stuff, the stuff that take your trading to the next level. All right. If you want to find some of the stuff that I developed, you can always head over to theforexarmy.com. Right. I put some of my indicators that I built over there. You can go check it out and also write some of my guides. Okay. Now, without further ado, let's begin today's session. So I'm quite excited, right? I'm quite excited to actually jump into the charts. Right. I'm gonna move the charts over here so you guys can see. All right, I'll move the charts over here so you guys can see. Someone is saying that Ren is saying that the chart is blur, right? Can anyone let me know? Can anyone let me know? Are you all experiencing a blur chart? Like what's the quality? Are you able to pick like is it 720p? Is it 1080p? Right? Is the quality of the stream clear for you guys? Are you guys able to select like 720p or 1080, right? Ren, maybe you have to click at the bottom corner to tweak the video resolution. All right. Okay, yeah. May you just try tweak your video resolution on YouTube? All right. Yeah. So sometimes you need to do that. Okay, guys. Now, let's begin today's session. Right, you guys should be able to see my chart on Eurodollar over here. Okay, let's move this thing away. Let's begin with the big ones. Right, the DXY. Right, DXY. Let's look at it fresh. I just want to hide something. I don't want to see the background. I don't see the watermark. Okay, so let's look at this fresh. First, okay, I'm glad it works. Right, I'm glad it works. Right. Let me just see. We got gold. We got euro pound. We got a euro pound Aussie franc. Solomon, thanks for asking. I'm good. I'm good. Right. I'm a lot more tan. Right. You can tell. I was been in the sun. I hiked almost like 20,000 steps every day. Right. So I'm a lot more tan. A little bit sunburned. Amazingly, right? How do you get sunburn in the UK? Right. But yeah, I'm good. Thanks for asking. All right. So let's begin with looking at the DXY. All right, let's begin by looking at the DXY. So the DXY is a dollar index. It forms the basis of the US dollar, right? The strength of the US dollar. Before I look at any instrument, right, I usually like to look at the DXY to get a good gauge on what we can be expecting for today. Okay. So I do want to encourage you guys, anytime you have questions, send them through. Don't wait until the end of the session before you ask me, right? Because we usually never ever have the time to go through them, right? So just what's the word for it? Just shoot it right away so that I can look at it, all right? So the first thing I want to highlight about the DXY is that we got a little bit of a funky movement just about, let's highlight over here, okay, just about over here. Why do I say that we have these movements? Because we have a very nice overlap. You can see that it's a nice little reaction, a little bit of a bounce from here, a little bit of a bounce, a little bit of a reaction from here, a little bit of a reaction, but multiple reaction and bounce that all focus on this one particular level. Okay, they're all focused on this particular level, and looks like price is right again, just about testing this level. Okay, price is right about just testing this level again. So we are testing an overlap resistance, right? Go far back. Right, the last time price tested this key level way too long ago. Okay, so price is now testing a very key level. So we have been seeing the DXY strengthen to this level. Let me just see. In the bigger picture, is this a big Fibonacci retracement? You could argue that it's about the 38% Fibonacci retracement of this entire move, right? And it's a little bit tricky to see this, right? But some people might even map a sort of Elliott wave structure from here. You know, it's like a wave one, corrective wave two, wave three, right? So this is a really extended wave four, corrective wave four, and this could be a wave five, right? And maybe looking a little bit of our ABC that's going up now, because this is a very straight line movement up. So it looks like very nice A. You could be seeing a B and then a C. All right. So the wave target for A is usually 38.2. Not entirely out of the picture. Okay. So for those of you guys who are into Elliott wave, this is something worth looking at. Um, Okay, a signal mark is saying that his 144p is the highest possible quality this evening. Maybe you can try to refresh the page, right? Refreshing the page might help, so that you suddenly be able to see a new option to, yeah, it might refresh the resolution settings. All right, so try to refresh the page. We should not be streaming in 144p. Seems like most of you guys are able to change the resolution. Yeah, so signal mark, try to refresh it, and you might be able to see it. Okay. Yeah, middle. All right, I got euro dollar. I'll take a look at euro dollar. Okay. So we are on resistance now. My natural bias in this sense would be we might be seeing a reversal, right? So we could be seeing a reversal from here, you know, all the way down, right? How far lower can we go? You know, probably towards this level over here, right? Support. But before this, I will show you the art of using correlation to improve the accuracy of your forecast, right? Now this is by itself is a first resistance to first support. We always have to look at the next at the correlated instruments, right? And I'll be showing you how to look at that in a moment. Okay, so this is probably going to be a second resistance, a little bit further away, and okay, yeah, I'm okay. At least you can hear my voice, but yeah, you ideally should be seeing it in at least 1080p, right? You can try to watch it on your phone. I'm not sure if it helps, right? It's a bit weird. I just let me give me a second. Just let me check something on OBS, right? Where settings, we are streaming it in our video stream is, yeah, 1920. It really should be working, right? Okay. Now back to the analysis. Sorry, back to analysis. Um, let me know if it improves. Okay, Mark. Now, so we got DXY. This is our first initial bias, is that we might be seeing a little bit of weakness on the dollar index for today, as in for this week, right? So a little bit of it's on resistance. It should reverse, but before that, right? What I want to show you guys is the art of correlation. Okay, so we have this thing here where you can either use this thing called correlation coefficient, right? And you know, I can throw on something like euro dollar, right? Correlation coefficient, and you notice that the value of DXY euro dollar is very close to -1 the majority of the time. I'm just going to make this slightly thicker, right? Right, slightly thicker. And you can see that this blue line is usually close to -1, meaning that the movement of euro dollar and DXY are usually in opposite directions of each other. Okay, that means if I'm looking at euro dollar, I should ideally be looking at a bounce, right? I should ideally be looking at a bounce. So I'm on euro dollar now. Let's see what are the odds that we can find a nice bounce. Zoom out, zoom in a bit, right? So this is how I usually do it. You know, zoom out, zoom in, right? I will highlight the key levels first, right? a little support level here, right? I'm just going to do this. We got one support level here. We got clearly another support level over here. They are not as nice in terms of the overlap levels as what I saw in dollar franc, right? And this is us just highlighting the key support and resistance levels first. All right. Levels don't look all that great to be honest, right? But this would be the equivalent of the first support that we saw on the other side, right? And then got second support. Now, it's tricky here because you look at DXY. DXY is on a very, very clear first resistance and it's coming down to here, right? Euro dollars first support is not as clear as I would like. You know, it's not as strong as the corresponding first resistance on DXY. So I'm a little bit concerned. Right, I take this moment to kind of go through the process. It is also the 38% retracement. So we notice that we had this 38% retracement over here. Yeah, 38% retracement over here. That is right about here. It is the same thing on DXY. You got very nice 38% that lines up right there. Probably 38 and 50. No, 50 is slightly higher. So I'm just going to focus on 38% over here and euro dollar 38%. Both 38% key Fibonacci retracements seem to be lining up at where the first support is. Now, in such a situation, you might ask yourself, what do we do next? That's where we throw in a little bit more correlation to be able to map things out. Okay, so what is also correlated to the euro dollar, right? And I can show you guys over here, right? I can plus, or I can throw on dollar franc, right? Dollar franc, I can do it on the new pane. No, not new pane, sorry. Maybe dollar franc on the same price percentage scale, right? So you notice that dollar franc and euro dollar tend to move in opposite directions of each other, right? I'm going to maybe zoom it into about here. You notice that when one goes up and goes down, the other goes down, goes up. So they are kind of moving in correlation, negative correlation. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to see, eyeball this and know that, all right, you know, they are actually negatively correlated. So instead of just overlapping the chart, you can then go into what I showed you earlier, use a correlation coefficient, throw up the instrument that we're looking at, apply, and you see. All right, so the correlation coefficient for this, right, is it is in the negative region. Anything below 0, right? Anything below this line over here, right? Anything below this line is negative correlation. You notice that recently, since the start of 2023, it has been a lot more negatively correlated compared to before that. Before that, you can say that it has always been negatively correlated, more or less, but recently, you know, euro dollar and dollar franc has been respecting their negative correlation slightly better, right? Slightly better. Okay, let me do a quick refresh on this. Okay, yeah, respecting their negative correlations slightly better. So that means, what does this mean? That it means that if euro dollar is on support, if something is negatively correlated, it means that they go in opposite directions. Okay, so if euro dollar is going to bounce, technically dollar franc is supposed to reverse. Okay, so I'm going to pull up dollar franc right here, and we should be seeing dollar franc pretty close to a nice resistance level, right? And I actually see this over here, very nice overlap resistance that lines up here, right? Lines up very nicely. I'm going to fine tune the level a bit, probably about here. This would form my first resistance. All right, go, how far back can this go? This can actually go pretty far back, right? It can go probably even all the way, arguably, until this level, right? Now if you look at it on the weekly time frame, just so that you can see, right, on the weekly time frame, maybe you pick it from here, right? Very, very nice overlap resistance. What do I mean by overlap resistance? Right, you can see that price has been bouncing off bouncing off this level, right? You can see bouncing off many times, it reacted off another time. So this is what I call as a very nice overlap resistance. It looks like price, right? Has been respecting this level very nicely in the past, right? Just about catching all these levels. Is the level where, in case you guys are wondering what's overlap resistance, it's the level where price tends to respect um, a particular line the most, right? You notice, right? If I were to move this price up, line up to here, if I move it up to here, just look at this, right? You will mention that, yeah, it looks like price cuts a little bit too much around here. It's not very nice. It's not very nice around here, right? It looks very messy around this area over here, right? So it's not as nice, right? So picking the overlap resistance is a little bit of an art. You put it too high, it's not nice. You put it too low, it's not nice, right? In this case, you say that it is missing all these key levels over here. So you need to fine tune it to the exact level where it looks very nice, right? And this in this case would be the overlap resistance. Very strong overlap resistance. Now, what I like about this very strong overlap resistance is that price is very close to it right now, which backs up our view, that euro dollar should be seeing support, should be seeing a bounce off support pretty soon, right? And also backs up our view that the dollar index is more or less kind of reaching its limit, right? You will notice that the dollar index, and I throw on the correlation coefficient with this should be of dollar franc, right? You notice that the a dollar franc and DXY's correlation is very close to a positive one, right? I'm gonna put this level is positive one over here, right? I'm going to pull it up over here. So this is a value of 1, right? You notice that the correlation coefficient, it looks like dollar franc and DXY follow each other very closely. DXY is on major resistance. Dollar franc looks like it's on a very, very close major resistance, right? So we are getting additional confidence that it is the weakness that we should be seeing on DXY is true, right? Jake, nice to see you tune in. Good evening to you. All right. So let's try fine tune this with a bit of Fibonacci. All right. Yeah, it looks like about 38% Fibonacci retracement, lining up just about over here. So might be worth highlighting that, yeah, we could be seeing a nice overlap resistance. If you want, we can highlight this as the key area, right, where reversal could likely be happening. Okay. The next key level after this resistance is a little bit far away, I have to admit. It's really a bit far away, right, over here, right? This would be where the second resistance is slightly far away. There isn't any clear level from here to here. So this would be the second resistance. This would be the first resistance. In terms of the first support, a bit hard to find the first support over here. I don't want to put it all the way down here. It's a little bit too far, right? So if I were trying to really find a level, we could argue that this could be the first support level, right? And what's likely to happen across the instruments is that we could be seeing a reversal with dollar weakness leading the way, right? Pushing dollar franc down, pushing DXY down, and letting euro dollar bounce up. Okay, now what about pound dollar? Notice that pound dollar's correlation is also kind of negatively correlated to DXY. So let's take a look at pound dollar. Okay, let's take a look at it over here. Wow, this is terrible. Now, pound dollar is what I call as it's not clear. Yeah, it's not clear, man. Pound dollars, it's not clear at all. Man, it should be. I wish it weakened this much when I was in the UK, right? On holiday, right? But yeah, it seems to have weakened quite a bit recently. Yeah, we had a couple of requests of pound dollar. Oh man, levels are terrible. I'm sorry, the levels are terrible. Man. Hmm. Broke the key 61% retracement, making its way down to the 78.6 retracement. Let me use a bit of Fibonacci confluence over here. Could that be where the reverse Nike tick 127 is? Yeah, reverse Nike tick 127 is over here. Right. So I'm gonna share with you guys what I suspect is gonna happen. Pound dollar is gonna drop, right? Pound dollar is gonna drop minimally until this support level over here, right? So you're gonna use this as the key. Yeah. This is what we you guys know 127 Fibonacci extension. You've been following me for a long time. It's very good. It's the Nike tick. It's the reverse Nike tick that takes prices all the way down to here. My trade for the week, right? If you are, I wouldn't say scalping, but if you want to play a reversal trade, is to take the bounce off 127. All right, take the bounce off this level, right? Play the bounce off 1.20892 up to this level over here. Okay, up to this level over here. This would be the bounce that I'm looking for, right? Because it's a very nice reverse Nike tick. Could you try again? Yeah, it's a very nice reverse Nike tick that takes the price from here all the way down to here. All right, and it lines up a 127%, lines up very nicely with the 78.6% Fibonacci retracement, and with the key, the other second major support all the way down to this level over here. Right, so looking to play a bounce here, slightly different. Euro dollar, what could happen? What could happen for euro dollar is that I'm going to change this. I'm going to change this to maybe an intermediate support, right? With this as the first support. Yeah, a bit tricky. So give me a second. Just let me think and make sure I get it right. Hey, Kelvin. Nice for you tune in. Glad to see you back. You're late. I'm guessing we might be seeing a little bit of weakness, right? But we overall theme for this week is that we should be seeing DXY weakness, right? Yeah, dollar weakness. Just the exact time that dollar weakness occurs, whether it's right away now, where it's gonna occur, or is it going to strengthen a bit? Yeah, it just might strengthen a bit. It just might strengthen a bit before the reversal happens, just a little bit. The anomaly, I guess, in my mind is euro dollar and pound dollar. They might see a little bit of a drop before bouncing, right? They might see a little bit of a drop before bouncing, right? My trade of one of the key trades where I'll probably be looking for myself. Remember, it's not trading advice or recommendation. Is probably be playing the reversal on dollar franc, right? You can say that DXY is super strong. So we're looking for a short-term reversal. It could be over here, right? It could be a short-term reversal in line with what we're expecting with dollar franc to also have a short-term reversal, right? And euro dollar a correlated bounce along with pound dollar having a correlated bounce, coming a little bit lower. If at the market opens, it closes slightly lower, look to play the bounce of 127. Could be a pretty decent trade that we can get in on. Dollar yen. I know a lot of people look at dollar yen. Quite frankly speaking, hard to find any key level. This would be the key major support level. Wow, resistance a bit tricky. 127 is a little bit further too. We were so correct on forecasting the Elliott wave move of this, by the way. Okay, we've hit the wave 5 target. Okay, so if you scroll a couple of weeks back, a couple of probably 3 or 4 weeks back, you'll notice me forecasting the Elliott wave move of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, for those of you guys who are interested in Elliott wave, right? In Elliott wave, how do you get the wave 5 target? There are two ways that you can get a wave 5 target. Wave 5 target is the end of the move. Okay. First, right, you take the distance, right, of wave 1. In this case, you start your Fibonacci projection from here all the way up to here, and your ending point is here. So this distance, wave 1 and wave 5 is the same, right? So 100% would suggest it's the same. The other way that you can get a wave 5 target is start from wave 1, go all the way up to wave 3 over here, and you project it down to wave 4. The other target is a 61.8 projection. Looks like it has reached that level too. Okay, I think maybe Elliott wave theory is used a little bit more, but there could be a case of an 88% Fibonacci. Looks like it's just about that level. Okay, so what could be happening? Just let me remove the brushes. Is that we could be seeing a nice little reversal here, right? If you guys manage to get in on the move, we forecasted the bounce right off wave 4, right? It's now closing in on wave 5. It's reached its full target. You took the ride all the way up. Congratulations. Being pretty good, decent profits, right? I would be making a little bit of a bold call to call for reversal from here, right? So I'm gonna call for a reversal from here, purely based on a little bit of Elliott wave structure and Fibonacci projections, right? To call the reversal, right? Likely, we should be able to see it reverse down to the first support down here. Okay, should be able to see it reverse down first support. Yeah, should be able to see it go down to the first support. If it breaks this, yeah, no argument that it could even come to the all-time high if it breaks this. This is in line with the DXY dollar weakness that we're expecting, because that dollar weakness could give us just that a bit of a confidence that we are seeing a reversal on dollar yen. So you notice that the way I analyze the charts, right? I don't just look at a single instrument and analyze. That is like that is equivalent to like trying to solve a jigsaw puzzle by looking at the corner, just one small little corner of the jigsaw puzzle, and trying to figure out what is the picture, of that this jigsaw puzzle is telling us, right? So the trick is actually to look at it from a broader perspective. You need to look at all the different corners. You need to look at DXY. You need to look at dollar franc, dollar yen, euro dollar, pound dollar, right? And you just map things up. Now, once I'm done with that, of course, then I will go into the other instruments, which form their own little correlated group, like Aussie dollar, Kiwi dollar, dollar CAD. They form their own little correlated group then, right? But the trick is not to fall, is to look at things in a holistic, correlated perspective. They'll give you the best accuracy, right? And help you filter out the fake outs, right? Because if like all the instruments were saying a reversal, but one instrument like pound dollar is saying that a breakout is going to happen, then you might argue it might be a fake out, right? It might be a fake breakout, because if everyone else seems like it's going to reverse, but this one instrument is telling me it's going to break out because the breakout's already happening, then you know that one instrument you have a low chance of a breakout happening, because everyone else is singing according to the same script they're playing. Yeah, they're singing according to the same script. We're all going to reverse, but if one anomaly is there, then you can increase your chances of labeling that as like, I'm probably not going to take this trade as a breakout because of this reason. It's not something is, if you're a Star Wars fan, it's like there's a disturbance in the force. All right. I will check some index. I'll just really quickly I'll take a quick look at Aussie and Kiwi dollar, right? Big request of them too. Big resistance here. I'm just gonna highlight the key levels. Big resistance. Mm, a little bit of a decent support level over here. I'll just highlight the levels and see if there's anything, right? Big resistance, decent support. Second resistance, I'm gonna line it up over here. You could stretch the second resistance back to here, but um, yeah, this could be more or less be the second resistance for here. I just want to highlight some of the key levels. I know they were not requested that much, but I'll just highlight them. First, second resistance, and if it breaks the first support, ideally we see a nice big drop to the second support over here. Okay, um, Kiwi dollar too. Kiwi dollar, very nice first big resistance over there that we're seeing. Nice amount of big first resistance over here, because these are the majors, and we usually have to look at the majors. All right. You could argue that this would be the second resistance, and this would be the main major support down here. All right, major support down here. Clear enough move, right? Potential down bottom. Dollar cat, which will help us in our view with oil, right? Oh man, dollar cat looks terrible. But the saving grace is that there looks like there might be a nice little bit of overlap support over here. Overlap support over here. Looks like price is kind of testing a bit of a key Fibonacci level. Yeah, just about the 50% Fibonacci level. Looks like price is testing the 50% Fibonacci level. Nice little retracement that we're seeing over there. Could it be also? This looks like one, two, three, four, five, ABC, right? So a little bit hard to see for those of you guys who are interested in Elliott wave. One, corrective two, three, corrective four, five, right? So it looks like a B, C, right? So it looks like we could be looking at a bit of a corrective wave over here, right? So let me just highlight this level over here. Nice overlap resistance. Sorry, intermediate resistance, probably about over here. I could put it as the first resistance probably. Yeah, probably can put this as the first resistance and then a second resistance all the way up nicely at a very strong overlap level over here. Yeah, very nice overlap level about over here. Armar, Yamil, nice to see you tune in. Thanks for tuning in nice and early. Oh no, not nice and early. If you're tuning in now, you're late, right? But you can rewind a bit to catch the forecast that we did. Okay, now let's go on to two of the popular requests: gold and WTI. All right, gold and oil. Wow, gold is what is this gold? Very tricky. And this is the reason why I don't really like trend lines. It's a little bit subjective. You do it this way, capture it looks like it's a breakout. Do it this way, you say it's testing trend line resistance. You do it this way, retest. It's always a bit tricky. Trend lines are very subjective. Those people who have been with me for a while, you know that I use trend lines more as a gauge, right? More as a gauge in terms of the momentum, more than the actual trade itself. Okay, more than actual trade itself. So in this case, I can tell that price looks like it's going lower and lower and lower, right? It's being pushed down a little bit, pushed down a little bit. Key support levels, probably this one over here as the first support. Sorry, as the first support over here. Wow. In terms of the overlap levels, there isn't a very clear overlap resistance, right? Quite frankly speaking, you need to train your eyes to see these guys, but there is a little bit of overlap resistance just about at this level. Bosch Jan is asking, is it second resistance 161 Fibonacci extension on DXY? So let me just jump in on this. I always love it when someone asks. Um, I think that you refer to this. 161 is slightly further away, right? 161 is slightly further away. It could line up there. You could argue that this is also Nike tick. This could be a 127. Just let me check if this is a 127. Yeah, 127's up here. 127's up here, 161 is up here, first resistance here. Maybe you could argue that price, and I think the, yeah, price has a little bit more leeway. It might rise up. I love the um, I love that it highlighted this, by the way. It could suggest that little bit more breathing space, for DXY to come up all the way to there, right? Which would back up our view that dollar franc is going to rise up a little bit more, which would back up our view that euro dollar is going to drop a bit and pound dollar is going to drop a bit before it bounces, right? So Boston is actually a very good something very good that you just highlighted, right? That DXY, I always like the Fibonacci confluence. The support and resistance levels are usually very is clear, but you use the Fibonacci levels, especially the extensions on the 127 and 161.8, to give yourself that little bit of fine tuning, right? So in this case, what could really, really possibly happen is that price make a push up to this level, then reverse, right? So the Fibonacci extensions are the ones that give you, help you get an inside look on what is actually gonna happen, okay? Right, so that's why I always say Fibonacci fine tuning, right? Okay, I look at euro dollar in a minute, right after we go through gold, which is a very popular request too. I would say, a decent amount of chance that we could be seeing weakness on gold to take prices a little bit lower, right, from where it currently is. Um, Worth looking at a little bit of the Ichimoku cloud, right? Seems like it's failing to break above the Ichimoku cloud. So, Ichimoku cloud giving it that little bit of bearish momentum, right? Descending trend line, also a little bit of that, right? I love to see the price action over here. It looks like it's kind of inching lower and lower and lower. So for this week, we might be able to see it come back down and test the first support level. Okay. In terms of the resistance, the other resistance level probably up here. Okay, we got a request. Which is the most powerful overlap? Most powerful overlap. Usually overlaps are slightly more powerful. An overlap is formed, right? Once a pullback is completed, right? An overlap is formed once a pullback completed. What does that mean, right? In this case, when price comes down to here, this is a pullback. The moment it reacts off this, it becomes an overlap, right? So a pullback to overlap, that's what it means, right? Because in this case, you have one bounce from the top and one bounce from the bottom. So an overlap only happens once a pullback is completed, okay? We will look at euro pound. I will jump to euro pound because there's been a big request for it. Okay, let's see what we can expect on euro pound. This resistance is very clear. Okay, I suspect there'll be a lot of people who are thinking to short pound from here. I suspect there'll be a lot of people who are looking to short pound from here. Okay, where's the 127? 127's up to here. Okay, so this is this story, right, which I think is gonna happen. A lot of people are gonna try a short pound from here, right? Pound is likely to go up even further, and then we see a reversal from here, right? So we ideally should be able to see a reversal from here to take prices back down to this. This is what I agree as the main first support. So don't jump in on the bandwagon to try to get in over here, right? If you want to try to get in the setup, wait for it to come up to this stronger pullback. Now, remember, in this case, this is a pullback, it's not overlap, right? Why is it a pullback and it's not overlap? Because price has respected it, bounce off it many times on top, right? But you can argue that after it's bounced off on top, it has not reached this level to reverse yet, right? Once this reversal happens, it becomes an overlap. Okay, so I really, really like this pullback resistance all the way up to here. Is it part of a bigger Fibonacci retracement? Let's take a quick look. Yeah, looks like the 50% Fibonacci retracement is just about close to this level, right? So we ideally, could be seeing price come up to here and then make that little bit of a reversal. So scalping, I wouldn't say scalping, but one of the nicer swing trading setups, probably be able to reach the target in 1 2 days. Not trading recommendation, but please take note. This is a very nice overlap support, right? So the people are probably going to play the breakout, reach this level, play the reversal of the 127, pullback resistance, and 50% Fibonacci retracement, right? Really, really like this nice level. And what that means is that why this could happen, right? Why this could happen, right? Euro pound rising up slightly means that euro dollar, euro dollar could be bouncing from this intermediate support that we highlighted, and pound dollar would be reversing because pound dollar made a smaller breakout. So we're expecting pound dollar to drop, right? So in this case, if I were to look at euro pound here, right? If I were to look at euro pound here, the likelihood of euro pound reaching this level, okay, requires us, right, for the euro dollar. In this case, when euro dollar strengthens and pound dollar weakens, right? Euro pound is basically euro dollar and pound dollar combined. Okay, I notice my charts are a little bit laggy. I hope it's okay for you guys. Okay, let's look at a couple of indices because Jake was requesting. I guess I'll look at the US 500 first, meaning the S&P 500. S&P 500, definitely key support level over here. Very, very key first support over here. No denying it. Looks like a little bit of a potential head and shoulders reversal coming up. This also happens to line up probably with the 30, maybe not the 38%. Yeah, 30% is slightly lower there, right? So we could be seeing, and the 50% Fibonacci retracement over here, right? So this would be the second support. Um, it's a pretty big, this is a pretty big first support level. My natural bias would be to kind of see it make a little bit of a bounce up to here, right? If it breaks this key level, because we're looking at a little bit of a topish pattern, some might even argue it's a little bit of a head and shoulders kind of reversal, right? But if it happens, right, then and it breaks that, we could see a drop all the way down to the first support, second support. A little bit tricky, a little bit tricky. Quite hard to tell. Could it be a channel? It could be a bit of a channel over here too, a bullish channel. So there's that fair bit of bullish momentum. Now the rules for a channel is that you need 1 point, you need 4 touches, 2 touches below minimally, 2 touches on top minimally, right? So this is a very nice bullish channel. So there's that fair bit of bullish momentum, and that means that I have a less of a bias that price will come all the way down to here, right? So with that fair bit of bullish momentum, with a fair bit, now Ichimoku's not there, fair bit of bullish momentum, very nice pullback support, right? Very nice 38% retracement. We could be seeing price maybe play around a little bit, right? Just above this support level over here, right? Major first support green, and it might give us that little bounce that we're looking at to take prices all the way up, to the first resistance. Okay, all right. What can we expect on the Dow Jones? I don't even want to look at it. It looks like a mess. It looks terrible. Um, Let me just take a quick look at the DAX, another popular instrument. Looks like very, very messy to me. Very messy. But it looks like it's bouncing multiple times off this support level, right? Bouncing multiple times off this support level. Not that many nice levels on this. first resistance over here. Yeah, we could be seeing similarly for the DAX, right? The index, a nice little bounce off this support level. Not the best, honestly. It's not the best level, right? A little bit choppy. You can highlight an area about over here, right? To highlight, you can see multiple kind of reactions and bounces off this level. So you can argue that this is like a supply zone where we could see a bounce up to the first resistance. Okay. Um, DJ30, right? Hard to say for sure. Dow Jones. Risky thing is that we could be seeing a little bit of a breakout. Hey, it could be seeing a bit of a breakout here on the Dow Jones. A bit choppy for me, a little bit hard for me to forecast this move. It's a bit hard for me to forecast this move. Jake, which instrument are you referring to? Uh, if you can, don't trade Dow Jones. I guess don't trade it because it's the movements are a little bit too choppy for me. I can't fine tune the level, so it's a little bit risky if you want to say that a big breakout is going to happen, but we cannot find and we use a trend line for it. I'm not a big fan of using a trend line to forecast a breakout because technically this is still a little bit of a support level over here, intermediate support, but if you think about it, this would be a very clear breakout. If price really broke out from here, the the line is very clear. I'm very confident that if a breakout happens, it's very clear. But if you look at the Dow Jones, right, the breakout is just a lot less. I can't exactly put a key support level anywhere. Maybe about over here. It's a bit hard to put a key support level. So if it's hard to identify the support level, it's hard to identify if the breakout is really happening. So I will err on the side of caution a bit more for Dow Jones. Okay. Um, you're talking about the Dow Jones, right? A little bit tricky. Yeah. If I were to look at a bounce maybe from this level, this would be the only key overlap support that I'm looking at, right? I think it also lines up with the 61.8 retracement. If I were to play a bounce, probably from the 61.8 retracement over here, where the first support is, and a bounce will happen. But I'm a lot less confident on what I'm looking at for Dow Jones, right? And one of my key mantra is that no one's remember why you're trading. You're trading for the sake of making money. You're not trading for the sake of trading. Okay, so no one's forcing you to take a setup on an instrument that is just not as optimal, right? So if you ask me, in the indices space, right, the US 500 is the clearest move, the S&P 500 compared to the Dow Jones, right? Along the other instruments over here, right, we got dollar yen, no, we got dollar franc as one of the clearest movements, right? Dollar CAD, not clear, right? WTI, not that clear, right? Gold, also not that clear, right? So it's important to kind of focus more on the clearer instruments. I noticed I did not look at WTI, did I? No, I didn't really look at WTI that much. But I will take a quick look at it now. Oil, big resistance over here, big support over here. This resistance actually goes pretty far back. If you look at it, it actually goes all the way back to here. Apart from the small little anomaly over here, right, you can see price reacting off this level multiple times in the past, right? You can see it reacting off this level, reacting off this level, reacting off this level, right? So it's reaching this overlap resistance, or it has reacted off this overlap resistance over here, right? So could argue, um, what is this Fibonacci retracement? Could be. I don't think it's a 50% or 38%. Oh, it is the 50%. It is the big 50% retracement about over here. Okay, so we could argue that for WTI, we could see a little bit of a reversal on WTI, take prices all the way down to the first support level over here. Um, Second resistance a little bit tougher for me to find, right? But if you have to highlight the second resistance, I don't know, probably somewhere here. Not confident about the second resistance, more confident about the first resistance. So the first resistance will form the basis of the reversal from here down to the first support, right? I don't really take a look at NDX, sorry, right? Yeah, I don't really take a look at NDX, Jake. But yeah, that should be all the instruments for today. Aussie Frank, if there's something really jumping out at me, right? I guess Aussie Frank, if you want to highlight it, really nice pullback resistance that price is approaching. I just let me see. Could this be a very nice setup? 50% retracement there. 100%. 100% projection about there. Overlap about over here. Could it be a bigger Fibonacci retracement? Who requested Aussie Frank? Marondera. Okay. 23%. 38%. Okay. Decent enough setup, I think. Fair bit of bearish momentum, kind of like taking prices down. You can tell that, overall the trend is bearish, right? You're gonna see you're making lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, right? In terms of Ichimoku cloud, you probably see the same thing, just about there. Price testing key Ichimoku cloud resistance there. If you're looking to take this setup, Aussie Frank, is actually not that bad, right? It's actually not that bad. But if you want to play a slightly longer term setup on this, you could see a little bit of a reversal and play for prices to drop all the way down. Maybe until here might be enough, right? But you could play it all the way down and continue the trend, because this is a pullback resistance which lines up with a 50% retracement and 100% projection. So you could play a reversal from here all the way down, right? I hope this view helps you. It's nicely bearish momentum, nice Ichimoku cloud, nice over that pullback resistance, and a Fibonacci confluence over there. Okay, okay, cool. Yamilu says gold is on the bearish channel. Yeah, hard to say a channel. I wouldn't say there's a channel. Yeah, I would say a trend line. Not too confident of a channel. I don't think there's much of a channel over here. Right, so there's not much of a channel, as you can see. There's only there's 2 points on top, but only 1 point below. But there is trend line on it. Okay, there's minimally a trend line on gold. But all right, guys, that's it for me for today's session. Thank you guys for staying throughout the session. I really appreciate it, right? I really like that a lot of you guys have came back, right? A lot of the usual names around here. I hope you found today's session useful, right? If you found it, please help me smash the thumbs up button, right? Really appreciate it, right? It helps our videos be found. The YouTube algorithm likes it when you do that. All right, so help us smash the thumbs up button, right? Of course, yeah, these were some of the key things, but the disclaimer that, guys, remember, everything in this webinar is educational in nature. Nothing should be construed as investment or trading advice. So, please do your own due diligence before you guys trade. Okay? And of course, thank you from IC Markets. Thank you from me for tuning into this session. Once again, it's nice to be back from the UK, right? It's nice to be back looking at the markets with you guys. I hope you found this useful. I hope you found it actionable. Next week, same time, same place, we'll be looking at the markets. I'll be pulling up the charts so that you know my style, right? I always like to be accountable, right? I like to be accountable to our previous forecasts. So we will compare what we forecasted to how it actually turned out, and hopefully it turns out nicely. Okay, guys. Thank you, Dolores. Thank you, Kelvin. Thank you, Jake. Right. Thank you, everyone over here. Right. Yeah, it's been a great session. Stay safe, trade safe. Peace out, guys. Have a good trading week. Tune in roughly 12 hours, where you can have Keaton look through a little bit more of the fundamentals with you. Okay, yeah, we have another live market analysis in about um just let me find it over here. We have another live market analysis in about 12 and a half hours. I will send the link to you guys. Oh no, is it with Peggy? No, that's not with Peggy. Is it with Peggy? Yes, it is with Peggy. In about 12 hours. Yeah. So this is the session over here. I'm going to send it to you guys in the chat. Tune in about 12 hours to be Peggy. Should be looking at the H4 and the H1 charts, the slightly shorter term time frames. Okay, so good stuff. I've looked at the overall time frame, the big time frame. Should zoom in into the smaller time frames to look at the setups. Stay safe, trade safe, guys. Peace out. It's nice catching up with you guys once again. Bye bye.